Hello everyone, I'm Manuel, the FluencyBringer, and this is episode 21 of the Fluency Podcast. In today's episode, we're gonna have an interview with Charlie, a Spanish student from Italki. Charlie, thank you very much for being today in this episode of the Fluency Podcast. It's a really great pleasure to learn from a Spanish student from Italki, such as you.
Thanks, Manuel. Thanks for having me here.
It's a really great pleasure, Charlie. And Charlie, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What do you do for a living?
I'm from Louisiana. I fix hail damage on vehicles. That's small dents from like an ice storm in vehicles. And I actually live in Texas now, here in the United States.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, so arreglas las abolladuras del granizo, ¿no?
Sí, granizo.
Okay, perfecto. Granizos y abolladuras. Excelente, muy bien. And what is your YouTube channel about? What is it called?
It's called Charlie's Spanish Journey. And really, it was just me sharing my progress while I'm learning Spanish, because there's so many channels out there where people say that they've learned Spanish or in 3 months. And for me, it's just not like that. So it's a very slow process, and I'm just kind of sharing it along the entire journey.
Right. Yeah. About that learning in 3 months thing, it is indeed possible, but that really depends on your background and where you grew up. For example, if you are Italian, you are French, or you had some kind of exposure to a language similar to Spanish, then of course it's definitely possible in 3 months. Okay.
Right.
Or probably if you're like really smart, like you are really into languages, Spanish is not your second language, but your third, fourth, or fifth language, like a polyglot. Polyglots already know like how to learn a language fast. In that case, then it's definitely possible, because I know some of my students, that they do have learned in 3 months, and it's amazing, but it's not their second language. It's their third or fourth language. Okay.
Very true. I'm actually a dyslexic, I don't do a lot of things that people do when they're learning a language. So I'm not reading books and things like that. And I even struggle watching movies or shows with the subtitles. So I think that this journey is going to take me a lot longer.
Right. Yeah. That really messes everything up, like your ability to learn the language fast, definitely. Yeah, okay. But exactly. I'm really proud of you, Charlie, because even though you're dyslexic and you have a lot of disadvantages, unlike other people, you have really pushed forward, and you still are learning Spanish after so long. So that's great, Charlie.
Yes. Yes.
But why did you start learning Spanish?
I've always wanted to learn Spanish. My father was from Honduras, so I have Spanish speakers in my family. I never learned to speak Spanish as a child. None of my siblings do. I have a half brother whose mom also speaks Spanish, and so he speaks Spanish. And so it was always something that I wanted to do. But honestly, until I faced the issues with dyslexia, it was just not possible.
Right. Definitely.
And also, my wife is from Colombia, and
wow, that's great.
Yeah, we've been married for really 18 years. Our entire relationship has been in English.
Right. No, definitely. Yeah. So having a partner that speaks the language doesn't really mean that you're going to actually learn the language. It's possible indeed. But in that case, it would be if your partner only speaks Spanish in your case, right? And then you will have to go through the trouble of learning Spanish for that reason. But like you said, you only speak in English. So in this case, you wouldn't be able to profit from it. Okay. And what were your first steps in your Spanish learning journey? Because you told me that you're dyslexic and you have a lot of trouble that other Spanish learners don't have. So did you start learning this language on Italki? Did you use any other platform?
I started with Rosetta Stone. I've never finished Rosetta Stone, but I do like the app and the program Rosetta Stone. For me, it was really nice, but I really got addicted to Duolingo before I finished Rosetta Stone, and I'm still in Duolingo, maybe about halfway through Duolingo, and I've been doing it about 590 days.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of days, definitely. Wow, you're amazing, Charlie. Yeah, but I believe the Duolingo does work, but like you said, it's not gonna make you a Spanish speaker in just 3 months. I actually have a student who is a very good speaker of the Spanish language, but he has been doing Duolingo for 2 years. Okay,
Yeah.
For 2 whole years nonstop, and he has even like traveled to other countries that speak Spanish. So that's probably why he speaks very well. Okay,
Yeah.
and what do you think about Italki? How do you find out about this platform?
I found Italki after starting to do Duolingo and looking up Spanish speakers and things like that on YouTube, and ended up finding someone who spoke about the app. And that's really been the best thing that I've ever done. I've been on Italki for about 1.5 years now. And I don't think that I would be able to speak the way that I can now. I'm not even a fraction of the ability that I have now without Italki.
I see. That's great. Mm-hmm. And what motivates you to continue learning this language?
I don't know. I have a drive that I just really want to be able to communicate in Spanish and fully communicate, not just order at a restaurant, not just be able to get through an airport. I'm definitely there now, but I want to be able to have conversations with people in my family and people who have, who are near me.
I see. And what makes Italki different from other Spanish learning platforms? What are the benefits Italki gives to its students?
Oh man, the one-on-one just lessons where you're comfortable, you can make mistakes, you can kind of become friends with a teacher and see them every week or 2 times a week, however much you want to do, and just kind of enjoy the process. I like the one-on-one. It's kind of like the conversation we're having now, but every week and in Spanish, and it's okay if you make mistakes, and they start to see the mistakes you make and you can continue to work on those. And it's not like having conversations in real life and learning out in the real world, because people don't correct you all the time.
Right, definitely. Perfect. And something else that I like about Italki that you could say that is a benefit is that they give you 3 trial lessons, right? So you don't have to worry about like choosing the wrong tutor. Okay, and paying a large amount of money to a tutor that will not really help you, especially for you, Charlie, because maybe there are many great teachers on Italki, but you're dyslexic. So you need a teacher that has experience with working with people like you. Right. So it's just cannot be anybody. Right. So if the people listening, any of you know anybody with the same problem as Charlie, you can tell them to visit Italki and they will be able to find a teacher that is ideal for them, because they have 3 trial lessons that you can choose a teacher, have a class with them for 30 minutes and see if they are the right fit for you. And you only have to pay like $3 to $5 per trial lesson. Because I think that's one of the benefits of Italki. Okay,
even after you run out of those trial lessons, there's still small lessons that most of the teachers will offer that are way less money. And it's like you can continue to get trial lessons, basically 30-minute lessons, just to see if it's a good fit.
Right. Okay. So do you recommend Italki as a platform to learn Spanish effectively?
100%, and have to everyone. I've recommended it to everyone who I've talked to.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's a great platform. I have been a teacher there and also student, because I have tried learning Japanese, Korean, and Tagalog on Italki. And it's a great place. It's very easy to use. The interface is very clean. I believe it's the best platform for learning a language. Definitely. Yeah. And do you have any advice you can give to students that want to start studying the Spanish language online?
Yeah, No, just get started. That's the advice that I would have. There's no time like starting. Better than now. There's no time better than now to start.
All right. And do you think there is any difference between learning online and learning like in person? Although due to the current situation, of course, maybe in-person lessons are not that possible in most cases. But after this pandemic, like is over, do you think it's still that online lessons are better than traditional lessons where there is a lot of people? What do you think about the differences between traditional learning in a group and online lessons one-on-one?
Well, I think learning online is better just because of you can speak to people in their country, and you can find teachers that only speak Spanish once you get to that level. That's a lot harder to do in face-to-face if you're here in the United States. And so you can easily find teachers with every accent, whether it can be from Mexico, El Salvador, Argentina, Venezuela, Colombia, all over the world. Right. And that's definitely a lot harder to do right in your own neighborhood, face to face.
Right, definitely. And the last question, Charlie, is what advice could you give to someone who suffers dyslexia, because it's like really messes up people's life, not only learning Spanish, but reading. Like you told me, you can really enjoy series that are subtitled, right? So it's great. I admire you, Charlie, because it seems that you are an amazing learner. You are a very dedicated student, but some people just give up on that. Right, on the fact of learning a language because they say, oh no, it's too hard. I can understand subtitles. I cannot learn the same way as others. What advice could you give to these kind of students that go through the same things as you?
Something that I would give advice to someone if they were like me is admit when you don't understand something sooner. I always had this issue of not understanding because I grew up around Spanish speakers. And even when I don't understand something, I just kind of go, oh, okay. And it's maybe we're embarrassed because we don't know, but just admit when you don't understand and ask someone to repeat it and things like that. I would recommend things like that. Those were the issues that I think really prohibited me from learning, because when you don't understand something and you don't let someone know you didn't understand, you just miss the opportunity of learning what you missed.
Okay, I see. Well, what I can tell you and other people that are like you is that you shouldn't be worried about not understanding. And in that matter, I think that maybe you have a little bit more trouble understanding than other people, but it's not like other people understand at first either. Okay. Right. Many of my students have no idea what I'm saying. I tend to be a fast speaker, and the way that I teach my students is, I expose them to my normal speech. I don't really slow down for them. I do slow down if they want me to repeat what I said. I really say things slower for them. But with the first time they hear something, I try to speak normal, because in real life, they're not going to slow down for you. Okay. Right. But you should not be worried about what other people think, or you shouldn't be ashamed that you cannot understand, because like I said, it's not just you. Okay. It's everyone. Okay. So you don't have to be a dyslexic, okay, to not understand. Not understanding, it's something that all of us having us when we're learning a language. So what I tell my students, don't worry about making mistakes. Don't worry if you want me to repeat it 10 times, 20 times. I don't mind. Okay. Yeah. So any less words that you have for other Spanish learners that are having trouble learning Spanish, Charlie?
A tip that I could give for working on your accent, I use text to speech. So when you speak in Spanish, it writes it in Spanish. That was actually something that I do just because I'm dyslexic, and that's really how I do almost all of my writing. And because of that, my accent it's made me work on my accent the entire time. From the very beginning, you have to pronounce the words the way that the phone or whatever software you're using needs it to be said. It has to sound more natural. And that's a great way to work on your accent.
Wow. Yeah, that's a very nice tip. That's the first time I have heard about that. Probably text-to-speech is like the best way that you can learn a language, especially if you don't have a native speaker that helps you, language exchange partner that can help you like all the time pronounce your stuff. Because I know that many people don't have like a lot of time to hear, like to hire a teacher like all the time to have many lessons. So definitely text-to-speech, it's really great. Okay, everyone. So that was Charlie from Charlie's Spanish Journey. I hope that you have enjoyed his advice. I'm gonna leave a link to his YouTube channel down on the description below of the YouTube video. So if you want to check his videos where he uploads complete lessons. So if you want to check those videos out and learn some Spanish while looking at how Charlie learns as a dyslexic, well, you can do so after you have watched this podcast. Okay, so thank you very much, Charlie, for being here today. I really appreciate you making time to really give advice to these people that have a lot of trouble learning Spanish, because you're a role model for these people. You're amazing. It's been too long since you have started learning Spanish, even though you have gone through many problems. So it's great what you're doing. And I encourage you to keep doing what you're doing. I enjoy your videos. I told you before. It's really great that you are doing this, and I believe you have helped many people.
Wow. Well, thank you. That's great. That's great to hear.
And so I hope that we can talk again on another episode of the podcast, Charlie. I would really love to, and maybe we can talk about some problems that Spanish learners have, like some grammar issues or something in the future, right?
Absolutely.
That would be great.
Sure.
Hey guys, thank you very much for listening to us today. If you really like this episode and want to get more exclusive content or monthly group coaching to improve your Spanish skills, you can go to our Patreon and support us there. We will really appreciate it.